There is a song, I think it's a Ray Charles song, called Georgia is on My Mind. Well, turns out that Georgia is on the minds of a whole lot of people throughout America today because what's going on in Georgia is something that nobody really anticipated 6 months ago. The assumption was that Georgia is a Republican state. They have two senators up for reelection. That the Republicans will will stay in power in those two seats. That Trump will win Georgia, but you know what? Things are changing, and what we're looking at Georgia, and we will discuss tonight, is Georgia's voter turnout has been extraordinarily high. Over 80% of the people who voted in 2016 have already voted, and election day is still 4 days away. And we're seeing a lot of young people coming out to vote, which I think is a great sign for progress. So, Georgia, thank you very much for all of what you are doing. And what we heard on the video is absolutely true. If Biden wins Georgia, hard for me to imagine that Trump gets reelected. If we pick up those two Senate seats from Mr. Warnock and Mr. Ossoff, we will, as Democrats, control the United States Senate and begin to be able to start representing working families in a way that we have not seen in this country in a very long time. All right, if there is anybody out there who's living in a cave and has just kind of come out and wants to know why this election is, in fact, the most important election in the modern history of America, let me tell you why. Number one, it is absolutely imperative that we get rid of the most dangerous president in modern American history. This is a president who is a pathological liar. And I got to say something to our conservative friends out there, our moderate friends. You know what? I don't care what your politics are. But if you think it is okay to have somebody who lies every single day, then I think you don't have a sense of what this country is supposed to be about. So I don't care what your politics are. That reason is enough to have you vote against Trump. Second of all, you have a president who does not respect or understand our Constitution or the rule of law. A president who says, well, if I lose the election, I may not leave office. And when he says that, he is denigrating the millions of men and women who have put their lives on the line to defend our country and our Constitution. As a United States Senator, I swear an oath of allegiance to the Constitution. So do the men and women in the armed forces. And Trump has shown that he really does not respect our Constitution. That's reason number two, that you should be voting against Trump. Reason number three is that we cannot run a government in the year 2020 where our leadership does not believe in science. And right now in this country, as all of you know, just yesterday, we have had more cases of the COVID-19 reported than any time since this terrible, terrible pandemic began. And we have a president up there who from day one has downplayed the pandemic. He has insulted scientists. He has called Dr. Fauci an idiot. He has rejected the advice of scientists. And right now, as we speak, he is holding rallies around the country in defiance of what the CDC says should be guidelines. People are there without masks. People are there without social distancing. And unless we have a president who believes in science, who's going to give us national guidelines based on science, we are not going to get a handle on the pandemic. And therefore, we're not going to get our economy back to where it must go because people are afraid to go shopping, afraid to go to work, afraid to go to school. So we've got to get a handle on the pandemic, and we will then have a strong economy. That's not going to happen with a president who does not believe in science. And the other reason I think fundamentally that we should be evicting Donald Trump from the White House and electing Biden really has to do with the needs of working families all over this country who are struggling in a way that we have not seen since the Great Depression. I mean, millions of people have lost their jobs as a result of the pandemic. They have lost their health care. They're worried about getting evicted from their apartments. And we need a government that understands the pain that working families and lower income people are experiencing out there. And this is a promise I make as a member of the United States Senate. If Democrats control the Senate, we will pass as business number one, first thing on the agenda, a significant COVID-19 emergency relief package to protect the working people of this country who are suffering so much as a result of the pandemic. And that means extending that $600 supplement to unemployment. It means, at the very least, I would like more, at the very least, a $1,200 check for every adult. It means providing health care for those people who have lost their health care. It means significant aid to states, cities, and towns so they don't have to fire workers because of their significant decline in revenue. It means help to hospitals. It means help so that we can do the kind of testing that we need to do as a nation in combating COVID-19. Furthermore, what we will do as a Congress, if Democrats gain control of the Senate, and you guys in Georgia have the opportunity to send us not one, every other state has the opportunity to send us one, you can send us two United States senators. And if you do that, man, we're going to be off and running. And what that means is we're going to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We're going to have equal pay for equal work so that women do not make 80 cents on the dollar compared to men or less. It means that we're going to make it easier for workers to join unions. It means that we're going to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, our roads and our bridges, and create millions of good paying jobs. It means, in fact, that we're going to tackle climate change. Trump thinks it's a hoax. He is tragically wrong. It is a great, great crisis facing the whole planet. We can create millions of jobs as we transform our energy system away from fossil fuel. It means making public colleges and universities and HBCUs tuition free for working class young people. It means making sure that women can continue to control their own bodies. It means real criminal justice reform, real immigration reform. It means expanding healthcare to millions of people who today don't have it, as opposed to Trump wanting to throw 22 million people off the healthcare they have by eliminating the Affordable Care Act. It means lowering the cost of prescription drugs. So this campaign, to me, is fundamentally about two things. Number one, not allowing the most dangerous president in the modern history of this country to continue in office. But secondly, it is creating a government that begins to work for working people and not just the 1%. No more tax breaks for billionaires. Quite the contrary, they're going to start paying their fair share of taxes.